Hello. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Sorry about the delay. Can you imagine one day I might start a stream on time? That would be amazing. Goodness. Okay, I am just gonna check my audio for a second. So thank you for being here. Just one more moment. Sorry. It's taking me longer than I would expect to start the stream. I think part of why I'm a little bit delayed is that my laptop's a little bit laggy this morning. So, just hold on a moment. I will be checking my audio so soon. Loading up, loading the page, going. Okay, checking now. Okay, I'm pretty sure you can hear me. Hello, everyone. Sorry for the delays. My laptop's sleepy this morning. Welcome. Okay, so last time we drew this little hedgehog whose name is Alastair Higglespike. We named him as well. And he's a very reputable businessman. And his job is to sneak into people's kitchens in the night and audit their pantries. And by audit their pantries, I mean basically like tidy them up and let you know what you are missing. You know, if there's any food in the back that you really should eat, you really should throw it out. That sort of thing. He comes in and he doesn't just tell you what's wrong, he fixes it. He's friendly and helpful. So yeah, we designed this cute little guy, and today I want to do some like picture book spreads with him. And yeah, basically I have 3 picture book pages planned, and these will go in my illustration for picture books portfolio so that I can approach publishers and be like, hello, I love to draw characters. I would like to draw a book. So these are the drawings we did last time. Cute little, oh, it's a little bit laggy. Oh no. Cute little Alistair. His little hands in his pockets and his big tie and his pencil that's just a normal pencil. It's just that he's so small. And someone made this little outfit for him. It's a little business vest with a little collar, and he's got sleeves. And he's cleaning a carrot. He's like, this is no good. Why is it still covered in soil? You should wash them before you bring them home. And oh my gosh, this turnip is large. Actually, I might have flipped this because I've written some text on that notebook. Let me just flip this around. You can see he's written turnip. He didn't write the I in turnip. Oh gosh, it's a big turnip. Anyway, so this is what we drew last week. So over the weekend I've been busy and I've been sketching. So I can show you the plan for the picture book pages, which is over here on this second tab. Reusing this cute little drawing of him with the pencil because I just really like this pose. So this is super rough. And basically, Alistair's in a pantry and he's looking up and he's just surrounded by pantry mess. And I've got like my approximate guides for the picture book shape of everything. So I've got the center line and I've got the little, like a trim, you know, excess. So we draw to the edge, but we don't put anything important in that little, in this little like edge space here. What tool am I using? Oh no, it's the gradient tool. Give it a second. To the brush. Oh, my poor little computer. This, give it a second. There we go. That, we're really trying. Undo. You know what I mean by the trim. It's that bit that I'm trying to draw in and failing at drawing in. Anyway, this is the first double page spread. Busy pantry full of stuff. Just stuff, lots of stuff. I haven't figured out yet. Pantry stuff. This is the second page, and this is the page that I would like to work on today because it's a bit more figured out. So in the first page, he sees a messy pantry and he gets to work. In this page, he sorts the tomatoes, and he's got 3 tomatoes, and one of them is a tomato shape, and one of them is a bit wiggly, and one of them's a star. So obviously he's sorting them by how much do they look like a star. So very neat. He washes the carrots obviously in the bathtub because that's how you wash things. I'm trying to make it like fun for kids. Like, how would a kid wash? They'd wash in a bathtub, just like a carrot. And he dressed the salad, so he's just putting little outfits on the salad. Do kids know about salad dressing? Do they know why this is funny? I think it's funny. I'm gonna draw it up anyway. And then the third page, which I'm not 100% on this layout yet, but this is the idea. Until the pantry looked just right. And then we look in a pantry and it's full of weird stuff, like bugs having a disco party. And there's a fish living in the pickle jar. And obviously some of those things that we drew on the previous page, so like the cabbages with glasses and the tomatoes that have been sorted by star shapedness, and a literal, just a live chicken. Cereal boxes arranged to look like a city. That sort of thing. And a cute little child being like, what's happened in my pantry? So those are the sketches that I have. And if my little computer could wake up a little bit, then today we're going to draw up this one. I'm going to try drawing a line. Let's see what happens. What? Nope, I'm drawing with transparent color, which is not very helpful. Let's try drawing a line. Cool. Okay. It's a bit laggy. There's potential. I'm just going to take a second to see if there's anything on my laptop that I can close. Yep. I've got... You can see on the left of the screen there, that's a little drawing of myself jumping up and down. It turns out, have 3 copies of that program open, so let's just close 2 of those. When my computer wakes up, it opens all these windows and programs and things that I don't always really need. Gonna close some tabs. Closing some internet tabs. Always too many tabs. I have a file explorer open, which is probably not taking up a lot of space, but might as well close it. Oh yeah, lots of tabs. And I don't really think I need any of those tabs, so let's just close them all. That's like 15 tabs gone. Okay. Now, to start drawing. So we've got this group, and I'm gonna shrink that down. So this is like my super rough first pass sketch. I will probably have to do another, like at least for little Alistair. I'm gonna have to do a slightly more figured out sketch, and then I'll like draw them cleanly over the top. But I think, should we do some tomatoes? Should we just draw some tomatoes to get things going? Hello, Mostello. Mostello says that they were going to procrastinate on doing chores, but now they're going to rush through them so that they can relax and watch this. That's so nice of you. Thank you for being here. You can have me on in the background if you want, just sort of look in every now and then while you're doing whatever sort of chore it is that you're up to. But that's lovely. Thank you for joining us. Let's draw some tomatoes. Step 1 is always look at reference, and when I'm on live I look at reference on my phone because it doesn't slow down my little laptop. So little. I remember when this laptop was brand new and it was way quicker than my old laptop, and now it's been years and it's slowing down again. Okay, Googling tomato. What does a tomato look like? Right. As expected. Now, what is it about a tomato that is not, at a glance, an apple? Because I feel like in a drawing, a tomato could very much look like an apple. I think it's the like spiky green top bit. I feel like I'm just going to try drawing this one up properly because I don't think I need another layer of sketch for this tomato. Although I will for little Alastair. Alastair? Alastair. Alistair? I'm not sure. Drawing with foxes is drawing while watching this. What are you drawing with foxes? That's delightful. Okay, tomato. Here we go. How laggy will it be? Let me just put on my just to get some opacity on this brush. I feel that why does I'm drawing with black. I have 100% opacity. I feel like that looks gray. What's oh, obviously I just put on the opacity. I'm so silly. Gah. Don't worry about me. Okay, let's raise the opacity a little bit. We like a little bit of opacity, but not much. Drawing with foxes is drawing mouses. Cute. Adorable. Oh no. Big tomato curve. Yep, that one's okay. I want to draw like not too thick. Can you see how this might look like an apple? I can see it. I think I'm gonna have to flip this as well. Just I feel like it's gonna be wonky. Let's flip it and check. Yeah, it can be a little wonky. I mean, it's an organic tomato. I'm drawing on the wrong layer. No. Wait, I'm not drawing on the wrong layer. Why did it just select so much space? I have a tiny little dot over here. That's what's going on. Goodbye, little dot. I thought I was drawing on the same layer as the sketch, and I was like, oh no. Okay, we just select that and we warp it back a little bit so it's not as wonky. A little wonky is fine, it's charming. Just gonna tidy this up a little bit. Cool. So I'm thinking like I'll do lines and then I'll come back and do color at the end. So hopefully we'll get through the lines of this whole page and then do some color and then figure out some texture. Okie doke. I've said it again. Every time I do a live stream, I say okie dokie, and every time I say it, I think about it because I say it so much now that it's like in my head. It's one of those things that I get halfway through and I'm like, I wish I hadn't started saying that because I say that. I feel like I say that way too much. I'm starting to like it's probably fine, but it's just like you know when you say something and you're like, I've become aware of a habit and now I'm annoyed by the habit. Are we doing pointy leaves or are we doing like a slight round? A slight round is cute. Let's do a slight round corner. I'm just gonna lower this opacity so that I can look at the leaves. I do like a little like rounded corner instead of pointy leaf. Not too thick, not too thick. Thin the brush. Trying to get some interesting sort of width. Let's zoom out. Do we like that? I don't know. I feel like it's very different to the other one. Let's get rid of that curve a little bit so then we can launch the curve in a different direction. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Should one of the mouses hold a flower? Yes. Yes. The only question is what kind of flower? I am partial to a daisy on a mouse. They're little, a little daisy. Am I thinking of the right? Am I thinking of? I'm imagining, yeah, like I feel like there are maybe a few different kinds of daisies, but I'm imagining like the really little ones. They're really cute. Looking at the leafy bits on a tomato. So we've got 2 leaves. They seem to have about 5 leaves. And I like the idea that there's... Oh, hello, Inky. Inky's just jumped on the table. She is now sniffing the mic. Hi, Inky. My little cat. I like the idea that there's complexity to these shapes. So let's draw on another layer. Try and get some interesting silhouette going on. And then I'll be erasing the overlaps or like masking them out. I like to mask them out so that if I change my mind later, I can go back and put them back in. Inky! Oh, Inky's just committed the crime of putting her foot in my cup of water. Extremely rude. I'm going to now move that to the side and remember not to drink it. Inky. She's so cute. She gets away with a lot. At least my cup of tea is safe. Now, I kind of want to make that one a little bit lower. Maybe just move it down. Let's do that. And I'm going to select this and just send that back to the center where all the little leaves are growing out of. Can I get it to line up? Yeah, basically, woohoo. Dandelions are really cute. Now, let's just zoom out again. So we've got 3 leaves. Inky. Chewing on my desk. Inky, please don't. Inky, goodness. If anyone has seen I made a video about, Inky, gosh, my desk, stop chewing it. Stop. If anyone saw, I have 2 videos on my page, and I am working on a 3rd video. Inky, stop. Stop it now. She's gotten snappy. In one of my videos, I show you my desk space, which Inky, now she's chewing the laptop. Inky, that is worse. Stop. Oh my gosh, Inky. Okay, sorry, I just need to take a second to take Inky off my desk because she's getting snappy and now she's swatting at me. Oh my gosh. Ah. No, I'm being attacked. Send help. Inky. The good thing is I've got quite a chunky hoodie on, so like I'm safe, I'm fine. But she's in a mood. Inky. She really likes to sit on my chair, and I think she's mad that I'm sitting in it. Oh, Inky. Okay. Apologies. What was I talking about? Yeah, I have a video where you can see my desk space, and you will be hopefully pleased to know that I have bought a real desk now. I have a much better situation. It's a proper actual desk. It's a nice little size. It's not huge, but it's a nice little desk space, and it is definitely like 4 times the size of my previous desk space. So, woohoo. And that's what Inky was just chewing on. But it's okay. I don't think she actually scratched it. Also, it's like morning zoomies time for Inky, so, you know, she's zoomies and she's grumpy. Let's draw this tomato. Let's just draw the stem. And then I can think if I want to add any extra leaves. This is the stem here in the middle. What shape is this? I want it to be like, kind of like an elegant kind of swoopy shape. This is one of those shapes that I'm going to spend a really long time trying to figure out. That's fine. I'll take it. And then this is like the bit where you might have cut the tomato off of the vine. So trying to avoid sharp corners. Yeah, something like that. I don't like it though. Where's my my key tool? What if I try and make it like a bit more thin? I think I'm overthinking this. It's probably fine. Let's go back to the leaves. Let's pop in some like center lines. Oh, they don't really have center lines, do they? Looking at a photo of a tomato. Yeah, they don't really seem to. It's not really a leaf so much as it's like a green spiky shape. Now Inky's found a loud pen to play with. I don't know if you can hear it, but it is loud. You can probably hear it. It's not a pen. It was a peg. A clothes peg, which is much more fun. Cool. I'm gonna mask out some of these overlappy lines now. Just pop a mask on each layer. And then I'm drawing in Clip Studio, and when you do masks in Clip Studio, you basically erase into the mask. Whereas I feel like I haven't done a mask in Photoshop in a little while. But but I seem to remember that masks in Photoshop, either you draw black or you draw white, and if you draw like gray, then it gives you like a semi opaque, like a 50% opacity, that sort of thing, kind of look to your mask. And I can't remember whether it's like black is visible or white is visible, but one of those is like full visibility and one of them is completely off. Whereas in Clip Studio, you can, when you're drawing on a mask, you can draw in any color. It's the opacity that you're drawing with that is the opacity of the mask. So if you draw in like pink or gray or any color you like, as long as it's 100% opacity, it will be filling in the mask. Or if you're drawing with translucency or erasing, then you're erasing from the mask. And it kind of does make sense, I suppose, but I always think like when I was first moving into Clip Studio Paint from Photoshop, I felt like I was like erasing my drawing. And obviously masking is about preserving the drawing so that you can bring it back later if you need to. So it would always give me pause, and I would be like, oh my gosh, am I erasing the drawing or am I erasing the layer? And it would be, you'd have to like take a moment to check. Do I have any tips on how to draw their hands, like little mouse hands? Let me just look up a little mouse. Googling mouse, looking at images. Yeah, they have these cute little fingers. I used to have pet mice and they were really cute. And I remember like when I would hold them, and their little paw would be on my finger and they would just kind of hold on, but it was so tiny. It was like half the size of my finger was their little hand. They're so cute. I love mice. Yeah, I mean, they've just got these cute little fingies. Yeah, it seems like they don't seem to have like a lot of a palm. They seem to just have like, if I do a little sketch here, I'm just gonna really quickly, like, this is a mouse. This is a mouse. Cute little tail or something. So I don't know what style of mouse you're drawing. You might be drawing a different style. But it seems like they sort of have this arm and then they just have like straight to little fingies. Little whereas like a human hand, let me real quick draw a human hand. I'm looking at my hand. This is so quick. Oh my gosh. Okay, so human hand has like this palm section. It seems like they don't have a lot of that palm section and they're just cute little fingers. So I don't know if that helps at all. Focus on the cute little fingers. I really like let me just look it up so I can check before I say. Simon's Cat. Simon's Cat is an animation series and a cartoon series. You can see it on YouTube, and it's really cute. And I really like the way that Simon's Cat does little cat paws, because like for a cat paw, they'll just be like this, and then they'll just be like literal little toe beans like that. It's really adorable. So that could be something to try. What layer is that on? Okay. Goodbye, little mouse. Thank you for your help. Yeah, it's all sorts of ways that you can do little hands and little fingers. Thinking that I might have erased this incorrectly. So, cool thing that I did a mask. Let's bring back this line. And we should mask out this part of this one. Now I'm thinking I want to move that over a little bit. Yeah, that looks way better. So bring back the, nope, that's the wrong. Bring back this and we'll erase, no, we'll erase that one from the mask. Cool. It's a tomato. Let's save the file. I'm now going to take a moment to just lower the blind because the sun is streaming on my face. So one moment, please. I'm back. Much nicer. Should you give your mouse a little adventure backpack? Absolutely, of course you should. Yes, an adventure backpack. What sort of adventure is this mouse going on? So that's one tomato. Let's flip it back to the way that it should be and draw. Should we draw the star tomato and then we'll draw the in-between tomato? Oh, Inky is chatting now. I'm just going to group those layers. Select those layers and group, and I'm going to label that group tomato. I don't think you can see my layer panel because it's not super interesting, but I like to make sure that my layers are fairly organized. Okay, it's a star tomato. Like one of those fruits or vegetables that you put in like a clear box and then it grows into the shape of the box. But it's a tiny star. Actually, let me just see if that has ever been done. Has that ever been done? Star tomato. Google. Oh, no, not really, but there are some cool other tomatoes. Star-shaped tomato. No, not really. What if I just look for like vegetables growing in shapes? Is that anything? Aw, I've googled vegetables growing in shapes, and there are these watermelons that are heart-shaped and they're really cute. Okay, well, it there's nothing that I wouldn't really expect from a vegetable grown into a shape. I was wondering if there would be like some sort of unique quality that they would have like on the surface or in anything like that, but no, it's pretty much just a vegetable in the shape of a shape. Okay, let's just okay, drawing a star tomato and keeping everything rounded because it's an organic thing, so it shouldn't be too perfect. I'm gonna join up these little gaps later. Next, it will be the next step. Okay, zoom in a little bit. Try and connect them up a little bit better. So there's always a little like tag on the end of my drawing lines. I think it's like a program thing. I like to just erase those. And smooth out some of these line connections here. This one is just gets a little bit thick here and a bit thin here, so I'm just going to smooth that out a little bit, blend it together. Notice this one as well, a little bit not smooth enough for my taste. Lovely. Save the file. Oh, Marstello decided to try gardening this year and is growing some tomatoes. Lovely. Yum yum. I have tried growing, well, like I've grown sweet peas and they're really nice. I mostly grew them for the flowers because they're really pretty and they're fairly easy. But every now and then I got like a little bean that was yummy, but it was only tiny. It was like they really were for the flowers. But I got these tiny little beans and they were pretty tasty. I was like, ooh, a treat. Now the green top bit. Now it should look pretty similar to the other one. So because they're both the same tomato, well, kind of tomato. Is that? Yeah, that's cool. Let's just join that together. And I'm on a different layer. Nice. Good stuff. Trying to draw leaves that are like not symmetrical and not too repetitive. And thinking about the way that the lines kind of flow next to each other so that we get some interesting shapes. What did I do over here? Yeah, they sort of connect in the middle. Though on a real tomato, they sort of, it's like, this is like this sort of shape on top of a tomato. This is looking down on a tomato. It's like all these little, it's like a whole flat star essentially on top of the tomato, whereas I'm kind of drawing them as more separate leaf kind of shapes. But that's okay. I don't think anyone's going to be like confused. Cool. And maybe let's do the stem and then think about where the other leaves should go. Now the stem should be about the same as this one. So I'm just going to like draw the width of this and bring that over so that I can approximate the same thing. Nope. Not really enough flow. Maybe they could be more loopy. Your mouse is going to go to Alice's house. That's adorable. They can be friends. What does Alistair live in? I am not sure, actually. I think he lives in a forest. I think he's like a British hedgehog. I think. So I think he probably lives in a forest. And I don't know. Maybe somewhere with lots of cozy moss. Maybe at the base of a tree. If we curl that around, it will feel more tomato vine style. for like the top of an umbrella. You could just hang this little tomato star up. Maybe we do a full loopy loop. Somehow that's better. I think it's more fun. Let's get rid of that layer with the measurement, delete that. And now let's put in some extra star shapes. So not star shapes, leaf shapes. Let's do one that's down here, but not symmetrical to that one that we've already got. This is going to go behind the ones that I've drawn. I don't know, this is getting a bit complicated. Yeah, should Alistair live in a tree trunk? Yes, I think that's a great idea. Would it be the trunk of a living tree, or would it be like a little tree stump that he's outfitted? I like the idea of a little tree stump, and like a little tree stump with some moss growing on the outside and a little mushroom or something, and he lives on the inside of the tree stump. Because I always think like I really like those is it Beatrix Potter, or it feels like Beatrix Potter, where they live in the trees and they sorry, excuse me. They carve out like an apartment building, but like in a tree. But I wonder if he might have done that with a tree stump just so that he didn't accidentally kill a tree. Yeah, and then he'd have cute little moss and mushrooms and a little rooftop layer. What am I doing with these leaves? Do we just do kind of this kind of thing? Like we just kind of indicate them. Let's check that I'm on the right layer. Yes, I am. Just kind of like that. I'm gonna move this one over. Whoop. Maybe we just do 3 leaves, I think, rather than 5. 5 is just a lot of lines, so we really just need a well-placed third leaf. It's too much. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, let's use that as my sketch, and then let's draw it up nicer. Little rounded end, and it curls around. It's a lot of just like drawing stuff and seeing how it looks, and taking a second, and then changing my mind. It's nice to have little overlapping bits. It makes it feel more like it has depth, you know. So I'm gonna mask this out. Whoops, too much. Mask that out. And that's all for that one. This needs a really tiny mask just here. And the tomato needs a mask. And I might just make that more of like to a point rather than what was going on. Just redo this line. I think I'm going to move the stem down a little bit. What would that look like? I think that somehow that feels more connected. So let's bring back this little bit here with the whoop. Paint that back in. Nice. Now I will select those layers, pop them in a group, name it tomato 3. Now we shall draw tomato 2, which is in the middle. Ooh, quick drink of tea. After we draw this middle tomato, then we get to draw Alastair. This drawing, it's an extremely rough sketch right now. He's basically standing there and looking at them and like, does that look neat and orderly? Which is it's important for a little hedgehog to be thinking about. What is the order of these tomatoes? Okay, this one is like a blob tomato. What? Trying to get around this curve. Go. Nice. Let's neaten up some of those connections. This one up here. Cool. You're drawing Alice's house? I'm excited. Now, this stem has to look somewhere in between a normal stem and a loopy stem. Like a little bit more wiggly, just a bit wiggly. Yeah, it's okay. Let's fix it up though. What is that shape? Okay, and then this shape. That feels very tomato-y to me. New layer. Let's just lower that opacity. Let's also lower that opacity. And let's draw some leafy bits. Has anyone seen the latest Walking with Dinosaurs TV show? Does anyone want to talk about that? Because I just finished watching it and I had a lot of fun watching it. I love dinosaurs, and actually it's made me want to do a live stream where I draw dinosaurs because I love dinosaurs. They're so cool. Yeah, it's like a 6-part series, and because I think I've mentioned on the stream before, the original Walking with Dinosaurs from like the 90s, I think, maybe the early 2000s, was a big part of my childhood. I would watch it all the time because my grandparents had the DVD of it. So anytime I would go over to their place, I would watch the original Walking with Dinosaurs series. And I recently have learned that it was only a 6-part series because as a young child, it felt like watching Lord of the Rings essentially, but like the extended cut of Lord of the Rings. Watching all of Walking with Dinosaurs felt like spending a day and a half in Dinosaur Land, and it was amazing, but it was only 6 episodes. I thought it was like 3 seasons or something. So I've misremembered that. But yeah, it was really cool because you could see just like, I'm pretty sure it went over like the entire, like, well, a long period of dinosaur evolution. And it was just, oh, so cool. So yeah, they've recently revisited, like they've done a new season basically, but it's a little bit different. So in the original, it's very much documentary style, whereas the one that they've just released, like they have a bit more focus on the archaeologists, and you go out into the field with them and you look at the like the dig sites, and they really they're clear that every dinosaur story that they're telling is based on a dig that they're doing, and they're like, look at the evidence in the bones, what does this potentially say about the dinosaur's real life? And then they go back in time and imagine what that dinosaur's life might have been like. And yeah, it's cool. I like it. And at the end of the show, they had a few like 6-minute like bonus clips, and in the bonus clips they've got some dinosaurs that were not in the show. So I am wondering, I have no idea, but I'm wondering and hoping that there might be a season 2, because I want all the dinosaur content. I also want more Prehistoric Planet. There's only 2 seasons of that. I want a 3rd season. It was amazing. I'm gonna make this leaf a little bit thinner. Let me just, I've got a mask on. Let's just, what have I done? It's fine. Don't worry. You can't see what just happened, but it was entirely in the layer menu. I accidentally clicked a different tab that took me somewhere else, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. Sometimes I have big reactions to small things. Thinning this leaf. Just gonna select that and move it down. Easy peasy. And now bringing back the layer mask. Nice. Layer masks are good. Now I'm thinking that this line, wait, this line, this one is flowing in the same direction as this line around here, and they're too close. So I'm just gonna move one of them, and it's gonna be the tomato. So let's turn off the mask on the tomato. And I like to just warp stuff. So just select that and warp it across. See, now there's a bit more of a gap. So they're like 2 separate thingies now. Blend that back in together. Fix up this little join here. There's a little seam now. What? Something I really liked about the recent Walking with Dinosaurs is the look at the latest science on what a Spinosaurus looks like. So cool, because I was hearing a few months ago there was like, I don't know, there was like a new paper or something that was like talking about Spinosaurus in some way that I can't remember. And it's really cool to just see a 3D model of a Spinosaurus walking and being like, oh, that's what we think Spinosaurus looks like now, because they've really changed over the last decades or so. I don't know. Our understanding of Spinosaurus. So that's cool. Tomato 2. Okay, I think tomato 2 is done. So I'm going to select those layers, put them in a group, label the group tomato 2, tomato 1, tomato 2, tomato 3. It's time to draw Alistair. Who's excited? Yay. Let's just look at the whole picture book spread again. Save the file. Quick drink of tea. Okay, so we're gonna have to do another sketch for Alastair and put him on, essentially on model. This is Alastair. So this is what we drew last stream. So I'm just gonna pop that to the side there. How small can I make it before it goes away? Let's go about there. And now I shall sketch up little Alastair. Okay, we've got our tomatoes. So Alastair he is a cute little round guy. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select, we've already got, not that drawing, this drawing. We've already got this drawing. And this is most of the pose that we need. So I'm gonna bring that over and I am just going to trace over the top of it and adjust it as needed. So where did that go? I just pasted it. There we go. So because this is, I figured out that he looks pretty much like this from the side. How big is a hedgehog in relation to a tomato? Let me just spend some time figuring that out. Double checking. And that can be like a big tomato. A hedgehog, I think the way I'm doing this is looking at a hedgehog in hands and then I'm going to look at a tomato in hands and see how big they look like in comparison to the hands that are holding them. That's the best I can come up with. Okay, so a hedgehog is bigger than a tomato. I don't know that I've left enough space for that. Interesting. Interesting. So a hedgehog looks like the perfect size to hold with two hands, really. How prickly are they? Because people do seem to be holding them. Maybe you just have to be a little bit careful. They're really cute. I want to hold one. Aww. Just a prickly little circle. Okay, so because I really want the scales on this to be fairly good, fairly normal scale. I think that's why it's funny. Okay, so I feel like a tomato. I feel like a tomato is going to be a normal tomato would be about half the size of Alistair. Let me just think about a cabbage because he's also sitting next to a cabbage. So we've got to decide how big Alistair is. Is he a little hedgehog? Cabbage. Looking up pictures. Okay. A cabbage is bigger than Alistair. I would say 2 Alistairs to a cabbage. So let me just leave this drawing here for now. My scale. And in fact, the other one's going to be very similar. So let's just going to merge that and copy that and edit, transform, flip horizontal, and bring that one down here. So I'm thinking we can push this a little bit. Like it could be a small cabbage and a big tomato. And also I think Alistair is just, he's little. He's a little guy. And I would like it to fit on the page, and I would like to, whoop, just one layer. How about we move the whole tomato? I would like to fit on the page comfortably. So as much as I don't like shrinking things down, sometimes you have to make things fit nicely on the page. We can have them like fairly close together as well. And now little Alistair. I think that's an okay size. Looking at the edge of the paper, it is getting a bit close to the edge of the paper, so I think I would like to just shrink them down a little bit more. I don't really like shrinking drawings because when you shrink a drawing, you can't, like you lose information, you lose the quality of the lines. So if you make that drawing bigger again, it's going to be more pixely. So it's better to draw things too big than too small, basically. And that has been ingrained in me my whole career working in animation, because sometimes when you're drawing a background for an animated film or something, sometimes down the line you decide, actually, I want the camera to be closer. And if you want the camera to be closer, the image needs to be bigger. So it's better if you drew the image bigger than you needed so that you've got some space to zoom in, right? So my instinct is always draw things way too big, just in case you need them to be bigger later on. You didn't realize. So therefore I hate shrinking stuff. That's okay. Cool. That looks good. I think let's save the file. So we've got our cute little scale now, and I'm going to lower the opacity on our little Alistair reference drawing here and just sketch over the top of him and adjust his pose. So let me just think. So he's looking at the tomatoes and thinking serious business-based thoughts. Going to select these from the sketch and cut them out and just turn them off. Cool. That opacity is fairly low. And now let's do a rough sketch that's more on model looking. And we've got our cute little reference to the side. So he's probably going to be looking a little bit more towards the camera. Let's bring back some more opacity. I like more ability to draw with lower opacity when I'm just sketching and figuring stuff out, because I can put stuff in lightly and have a think about it. He's got a big circle for a nose. I wouldn't mind a bit more of his far eye, so I'm just going to do that again. This is his like nose, and then this is the actual nose. This is his like mouth nosy bit. Is that too big? That might be too big. Shrink that down. I think also, like, what is his pose? I think he's leaning back and he's looking. He's like, huh. And I really like pushing eyes really far. It's one of my favorite things. Look at how far it is. Cute. And we're going to do, so these little, like, he's got very subtle little eyebrows. Maybe we do this with a little lower eyelid or something. Very subtle little patches of eyebrow. And a little chubbiness on his cheek. And the ears, let me just compare. He's turning his head, right? So the ear should not be in the same spot. The ear should be, maybe let's try that. Does that feel right? Yeah, I think that's okay. We can always change it later. Sometimes you draw stuff and then you come back to it later and you check it. That's what I do. I do my best and then I come back later and I check. And then I fix it up. Okay, he's got these chubby little cheeks that they kind of fold over his collar. That's cute. Past me did cute decision making. And he doesn't have a mouth until he opens his mouth. Or does he? No, I don't think he does. I think it's cute when animals don't have mouths because they're just all nose. And we'll also tell the story through his pose, not just his face. So, and he's got these little legs. So he's leaning on this one. And he's sort of, this one's forward. And he's like, his legs kind of, they bend that way because he's a hedgehog. And it's extremely normal. Only tiny little toes. I think these are probably pretty similar to the little mouse toes we were discussing earlier. On Alastair, I'm just drawing like tiny little toes, tiny little feet, because he's a big rectangle oval. He's a big blob kind of shape. And then for contrast, we've just got what just happened to my speaking just now? For contrast, we've got these tiny little thin little stick legs. And that's a cute, fun shape contrast. His arms move about as needed. So what's his pose? He's thinking. He's thinking. It's a little bit, his vest is a little bit lower in the front. Let's just put the center line, I don't know, here. Lower in the front and then higher in the back because that's kind of what vests do. They kind of come down the front and they go higher around the waist and around the back. And he's got this big old tie. Do you think it's a clip-on? Do you think he ties it himself? Every morning. I like the idea that he ties it himself every morning and he takes great pride in it. But I also like the idea of a tiny little clip-on tie for a hedgehog. So the collar is sort of, I don't know if we're really defining the layers of the collar versus the vest. Maybe we're just doing a line. Feel like he should be wider. So let's just select and stretch him. Just got him a little bit too thin there. He's a round friend. There we go. Arms. I'm going to, because arms are sort of on top of the rest of the drawing that I've got, I'm going to draw them on a separate layer so that I don't have to worry about messing up this layer that I've already drawn. Don't forget to save your file, everyone. What are we doing with the arms? Are we holding the pencil? Maybe we could hold the pencil. Maybe we could go like arm out, like we're leaning on the pencil and we're just like thinking. That could be good because I think it's good to bring the props back in. Let's just look at the pages that I've planned again so that just going to organize some layers. Organizing some layers. Okay, so this is spread 2. In the first spread, he does have his pencil and his notebook. So it'd be good to keep some of those props. I mean, at least the pencil. So it's not just like he got rid of his pencil. So for anyone who's new, this is the first page that I'm planning. I don't know if we'll have time to draw this one up today, but this is the first in my little 3 double-page spread picture book plan for my portfolio. This is Alastair. He audits pantries. He tidies them up. He tells you what's missing. He points out the cereal that is too old and you should throw it out. He's very friendly and very nice, and he helps you organize your pantry. So this is him in a pantry looking up, just being overwhelmed by how messy and complicated it is. And then this page that we're working on today, he sorts the tomatoes, he washes the carrots in the bathtub, and he dresses the salad with little outfits. And then the third page is a reveal of the pantry, and it's just got all this fun little stuff going on, like bugs having a disco party, and some of the stuff that he arranged, like the tomatoes and cabbages with sunnies and stuff like that. And also he's like hiding in the corner here. I want to hide him. I like the idea of a picture books page where there's just a lot that you can see and you can look at it for a long time. And like if you're reading it with kids, you can be like, what do you see? What can you find? Oh my gosh, did you notice this little moment over here? I really like things like that. So that's the idea for this. I'm not entirely sold on the way I've laid it out, but I like the concept of looking through and, you know, in the text, it's like, this is a normal pantry. And then when you're looking at the picture, it's like, but it's all got all this silly stuff going on. So that's the plan. But today we're working on this one. Yeah, I think let's hold the pencil. Let's lean on the pencil and be looking at the tomatoes. Nice. So now that we've got this, ooh, what's happening? I'm clicking and something's happening. Okay, the program just needed a moment, I hope. Nice. We're back. So we've got this little arm. His arms move around on his body as needed. He's got this little shirt. How big is the pencil? He probably cannot get his whole hand around the pencil. How does he hold the pencil? It's a mystery. Where did it go? Okay, let's come back. It's fine. Sometimes I click the wrong button or I'm using the wrong tool and I expect something to happen, but something else happens instead. Got an eraser. Can you imagine he's writing with this pencil and he's like, oh gosh, I made a mistake. And he has to turn around the entire pencil, this giant pencil. He's like, flip it around so that he can erase his mistake. He probably doesn't make a lot of mistakes out of necessity. It's a very sharp pencil. I like the shape of it. Like he's this cute round thing and he's got this very long little pencil next to him. The contrast is fun. So he's leaning on this pencil. I think we're gonna have to move the whole drawing to the left a little bit, getting a bit close to that center page line. And nope, just like I said, the thing that I thought would happen did not. I thought I would erase. I drew a line. Now, see, this far arm on this undersketch is a bit thin, so I'm gonna fix that here. You can have little fingers like that, or do you think he just kind of folds them? I think he just kind of folds them. That's cuter somehow. Chunky little arms. Cute. Let's save that. Marstella says, this really makes me want to put in the work on my project ideas. So many stories I want to make, yet not much to show for it yet. That's, I have been in that position, and I think I'm constantly in that position, like so many things I want to be making. And I just have to remind myself to like chip away at it and keep going. And if you chip away at it and you keep going, it will get made. You've just got to keep going and keep chipping. I like to, I say this, but it's not, in practice, it's different. I like to try and limit how many things I'm working on because I don't want to get distracted by too many things. I'd rather follow through on 1 or 2 things than have 4 or 5 things that I'm not finishing. But that is really hard in practice. But that's my constant goal is like finish this one thing. So like a little while ago I had this I did a live stream where I was working on my animation character design portfolio for my project. Is called Penny's Grumpy Pony, and it's this little series of characters and this grumpy pony and this little girl that wants to be friends with the pony, and the pony's like, no, I hate everyone. And I'm developing it for my animation design portfolio. And that is like a long-term ongoing project that I've been working on for a few months, and I just got to keep like coming back to it. And then in the meantime, I have a few little projects that come up because of various deadlines or various like, I don't know, reasons why I need to prioritize something else for a little while. And so yeah, I try and do like, I've got my big Penny's Grumpy Pony as a project that I will keep coming back to, and I just keep expanding it. Whereas this is a 3-page picture book spread and that's it. And I'm going to stop. And that should be fairly achievable. And like for me, I think about, because I've got a few different portfolios. I like to think about wait, give me a moment. Is this an empty layer, or is create selection? Oh, it's not an empty layer, it's a sketch. Don't delete that. Label that layer. Okay. What was I saying? What was I saying? I remember the broad topic, but what was I about to say? That's annoying. It's gone. It's so annoying. Is there anything else on that topic that I could say? Because it was an interesting topic, like having a lot of different projects going on and things that you want to be working on. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Because I have a few different portfolios. Broadly speaking, I've got 2 portfolios. I've got one for animation design and one for like illustration, picture books, like my style specifically, which is what we're working on today. And then my animation design portfolio is split into a few different sections. One of them is character design, one of them is background painting, and I've got a tab for like storyboarding. So across my portfolios, I think like, where is the biggest gap? And I work on filling that. And then I think, what is the next biggest gap? And I work on filling that. Like, what is the thing that I think I'm being let down on in this portfolio? And I work on that, you know? So something I really like doing is, I think I'm going to start drawing up this little hedgehog. He's a cutie. Something I really like doing is, you know, those like monthly challenges, like Inktober is probably the most well-known one, but there's also like Huevember, where you draw in a different color every day in November, or there's Plain April, which is like plain April, and every day you do a landscape painting in April. I like to find out which one of those is coming up in a few months and plan a little art series and try and do it during one of those tags. So, and I also I don't like drawing every single day in those tags because it's a lot. It's a lot to do a drawing every single day in a month that has about 30 days. But I will do a drawing every 3 days or every 4 days. And then by the end of the month, I've got like 10 drawings, you know, and that's a really good series. And you can do, You can do a series of illustrations, or you can treat it like a comic. Like you could do a panel every 2 or 3 days and have a nice little comic by the end of it. Yeah, there's lots of things you can do. So I've used that a bunch to get through some projects, because a few years ago I was like, I don't have any series. I feel like I've got all these separate drawings, but I don't have any like projects. And then I did that a few times and I had a few series and I had a few projects, and it was like, look, I have a bit of a body of work now. Which is, I think it's a really good idea to have. Rather than one big perfect painting, have a series of slightly smaller paintings. And I think for me, I really like that as my approach. I like to have things that I move through, and I have a lot of them. And then I move on to the next thing rather than spending a long time on one thing. And then by the end, you've only got one thing, but you might have a really great thing. Each cute little face. Cute little face. I think like, I don't know, I noticed when I was in uni that, because I've always tried to orient my career towards like commercial illustration and animation design and that sort of thing. I think that's why I lean more towards the idea of having a lot of smaller things rather than one very big thing. Whereas I noticed that other students were perhaps more oriented towards like gallery exhibitions and paintings and stuff like that, like fine art type stuff, and they would be more inclined to spend a long time on one amazing painting. So maybe that's one of the points of difference, is we had different goals for what sort of art we were trying to make. I think in a commercial context, it is a good idea to be able to iterate really quickly. I do a lot of zooming out when I'm drawing because I want to check the overall look. This is also the first time that we've drawn Alastair Hedgehog neatly. How exciting, because these were all sketches over there. So we're really establishing the style. Little ears, little chunky ears, and they're a little bit chunky. Oh my gosh, so cute. What a cutie. Is the brush, is it matching? It's looking a little bit thicker than the thinnest parts of those stars. Drawing with foxes has finished the drawing. Hooray! If you post it somewhere, you should drop it in the chat and let us know where we can find it. Mostello says, I would love to make a graphic novel with cats who exorcise ghosts and such. That sounds amazing. And that you're saying that it feels big, but maybe we'll make something small with these cats first. I think that's a really good idea if you've got like a big idea. Like that sounds like, so you're saying it's a graphic novel, but it sounds like you could do a series, like a few just short little stories with them, just like little, maybe a 1 page or a few panels kind of thing, and you could use those to figure out the style and figure out the cats' personalities and what sort of jokes they tell and what sort of world they live in. And in the meantime, you'd be finishing a series of little things that you could share. And then, you know, if you're working on those and you really like it, then you could develop this bigger thing and you'd have more information before you get started on the bigger thing, because you'd already have done a bunch of working out on the smaller things. For me, I really like that technique. I like to do a few little things before I do too much of a big thing. Because otherwise, like, it could be that you spend a long time. I don't want to dissuade you, because whatever your practice is awesome. But it could be that you might spend a long time on a big thing and then you get to the end and you're like, oh, the first few pages, I wish I had figured out some of the stuff before I started those first few pages. And then you might have to go back and redo them. But that's fine as well. I mean, whatever works for you. I know a lot of people, like a lot of webcomics do that sort of thing where I think like whatever way gets you creating is the way to go and gets you like working on stuff. Whatever way gets you doing stuff in the most excited way is the way. Whether that's starting the big thing first or doing a few small things. But I do like doing a few small things first for me. I have just realized that we've got this spiky section here. What am I doing here? What was that arrow? I think I halfway through the arrow tried to do a circle and I got confused. We've got spiky section here and we should have spiky section here. So this solid line should not be there. So, but I'm going to mask it out because it's a nice line and maybe I want to bring it back. Let's get it up to about there. That's probably where the vest ends. Drawing with Foxes has posted it on their YouTube. So Drawing with Foxes is spelled how you would expect. And we're gonna go YouTube, Drawing with Foxes, and we're all gonna go look at the drawing. And it is at this time that I have to figure out how to go to someone else's specific YouTube. Oh, I think I figured it out. I'm borrowing a URL from someone else and then just swapping out the name. It's not entirely working. Wait. Maybe if I have done this before. Why can't I do it now? I feel very out of touch with technology. I'm trying to go to a specific account. Oh, okay, gosh, it's easy. There's next to a user, there's these three little dots. You click those three little dots, and then a little menu pops up, and you click Go to Channel. It's so easy. Drawing with Fox's channel, and there will be a drawing. Ah, cute. This little mouse is wearing, I can see the cute adventure backpack and a pretty flower. Oh my gosh, look, I've just I clicked it to expand and now I've seen more of the image. There's a cute little tree stump. Is that where Alastair lives? That's adorable. And the mushrooms, pretty. I love that we all draw together. It's so nice. In this world of, I don't want to talk about AI, but in this world of AI, isn't it nice that we're all hanging out and drawing together? Now, no more discussion of AI. We're done with that topic. How are we doing the spikies? The spikies here. I need to look at more hedgehog pictures. I'm looking at more hedgehog pictures. Maybe the spikiness doesn't come down so far. I'm wondering if it like goes behind the legs here. Let me just see that. No, I don't think it does. I think it probably stops up here. But I think that these lines are probably too far back. I should bring that around. Actually, let's just delete those and draw them again. Because this, it's got to be that kind of shape. So they've got to be here. That looks better. Save. I am going to take a 2-minute standing up break because I have been sitting down for too long. Let's all stretch. I'm also going to swap out my cup of water because Inky, if you remember, my cat Inky, she put her foot in my water and I have not had a drink of it since. So I'm going to go top that up. So I will be right back in like 2 minutes and we will finish up this little Alistair drawing and also work on the rest of the page. I wonder how much we can get through today. We'll see. I will be right back. Hello, I'm back and I have not just water, but a fresh cup. Rejoice. Back to the hedgehog. Drawing with Foxes says you're gonna make me a surprise. That's so exciting. What is it? Don't tell me it's a surprise. Thank you. Cute little hedgehog jacket. Vest. It's not a jacket, it's a vest. Figuring out my layers. This is taking a little bit longer than I thought it would. I had hoped to get through this whole spread today, but we may not have time. Okay, vest. Vest, vest, vest. Everyone get hype for a vest. This is the little V front bit. Just see. That doesn't make sense. Let's do the whole vest up here. Do we have little pockets? I don't know. We've got some in that sketch over here. But we don't have them on this one. Or in any of the others. And I do kind of feel like they just kind of get in the way a little bit. So maybe let's not do pockets. Time for a tie. Chunky little tie. I'm going to rotate the frame now. Sometimes I like to rotate the frame when I'm drawing something that is approximately symmetrical, like not symmetrical in the drawing, but in real life is like basically symmetrical, so that I can make sure that it's lining up in the ways that it should. I think I'm going to take a moment to look at what a tie looks like. What does a tie look like? As I suspected, this should not be a point. It should be like an across little bit because the fabric's wrapping around the lower bit of fabric. Now it looks so much better. And I'm gonna mask out this little overlap here. And the collar. So the collar on this one, I just kind of extend it from where the tie is. This little corner of the tie. It goes under his cheeks. And what? Back there. And that's basically the vest. Nice. Let's do this arm while I'm here. I go through so many layers, but that is all right. I mean, is it all right? It might get a little bit inefficient at some point. We don't have a lot of detail on these fingers, just little finger shapes. Do we do a little crease maybe? Yeah, he's got a little shirt on. A little crease in the elbow. This is the other arm. This is the vest. This is the sleeve. The cuff of his sleeve is round. And I want to do like a little finger there. Does that look like a thumb? I don't know, it might be a bit long. Maybe I'll just move that down a bit. Oh no, you got stung by a bee for the first time yesterday and you're discovering that they get itchy. Oh my gosh, I have not been stung by a bee in years. Years and years. I cannot remember the last time I was stung by a bee. I can remember the first time I was stung by a bee though. I think I was in preschool and I got stung by a bee and it really hurt. Oh, I'm sorry that you're experiencing that. I don't think I tend to not. Yeah. How did you get stung by a bee? That's so not fun. Just trying to think, like, what has been keeping me from getting stung by bees this whole time? Hardly anything. We have some bees, well, we used to have some bees in the area. There was a beekeeping club and they had some beehives and that was really cool. They had like native beehives, Australian native beehives, which I think we've got like classic bees as well, sort of that do like the honeycomb hive. I don't really know, but we've also got some native bees that they're more like a solitary bee and they live in like old wood or burrows or something. I don't know. Basically, they had these little boxes that had, I can draw you a little picture. They had like a little box that had like if that's the box, inside the box had like sticks of all different kinds inside, like that, like filling up the whole thing. And some of them were hollow and there were little spaces in between them and like the bees would come and live in them. But I think, I'm not entirely sure, but I think they were like native bees that live more individually than in like a big collective, like most classic bees that you think about. And that was really cool. But then the bee club moved, so I don't know where they went. But I kept thinking maybe I'll join the bee club, and then they left, and I missed it. I think like I just thought they were really cool, and I just wanted to be like, I just wanted to be their friend. These little toes. How many toes does he have? We're gonna go with 3. 4? Oh, 4 is better. 4. We're doing 4 toes. And I'm just gonna make this bend a little bit more. Lovely. Let's draw his face. Now, it's another thing that's approximately symmetrical, so I'm going to rotate it. And I like to measure against the top of the frame just to make sure the eyes are like approximately level. And that helps me not draw too skewed. Should that just be solid black nose? Maybe I'll leave it for now, but we might just fill that in solid black rather than like a dark color or something. Okay, give me a moment. I'm just going to look up some reference because I have this specific eye shape in mind. I'm just going to look up some reference. Cool. Okay. It's gonna be like... And maybe we do... How do we do these? Maybe this is like... maybe that's like that. His like just figuring out how his lower eyelid works. Sometimes when you have an eye, like you draw the outline and you draw the lower eyelid, but you don't lose this lower line that's in like a lot of art styles. But I think we might do something like with more of a gap. This quite thin. And now on another layer, all the layers, I'm just going to zoom out. That's where the star tomato is. Sort of down. And little brows. I think we're going to do also slightly darker upper lash line. Just because everyone has a slightly thicker lashes on their upper eyelash line than their lower eyelash line. Now the true test is turning off this sketch and having a look. Yes, small tweaks. Kind of feel like, whoop, don't apply the transformation. I kind of feel like I just want this to be, this inner shape here to be a little bit more level. Are we doing like little dots here? Maybe not. Now, does he look angry? I think he, whoa, meant to erase. I think he looks a little bit too frowny. So let's move this up. Because we're going for like concerned / confused. Which is more of a this shape than a this shape. It's tricky when his eyebrows are very subtle. They're a very subtle eyebrow. Yeah, maybe that top line needs to be adjusted. I'm just gonna get rid of that. And let's just tweak the shape of this. I fear it is becoming overcomplicated. Undo. Oop. It's just lagging. There we go. Maybe his eyes are too little, like the inner pupil bit. Bring back this shape here. Maybe, ooh, maybe with that flowing into that little crease a bit better. Maybe that's better. That feels a bit better. Now I'm thinking this eyebrow was too thick, so I'm just going to redraw that. And this, I think, is coming down a bit too low because now that's reading as angry. Where did I put that one? Let's just lift that a little. Maybe we just get rid of that on this layer, and I'll just do it on the other layer. Whoop. Just lagging for a moment. Yeah. Well, let's check that. That looks pretty thoughtful. Probably. I zoom in and out all the time. Just gonna do the pencil now. Ah, drawing with boxes. I just looked at the surprise. It's so cute. Thank you. It's a drawing of Alastair, and it says, I'm really enjoying the video. Keep up the good... Wait, let me just look at the whole thing. Keep up the good work. Oh my gosh, you're so nice. Thank you. It's so cute. Look at his little outfit. It's Alastair the Hedgehog. Yay. Nice. Okay, so pencil time. So to draw this pencil, it's a long straight line, and I'm just gonna I'm not going to draw that by hand. I'm going to stretch out a long line. Slightly thicker on one side, slightly thinner on the other. Huzzah! Now draw in the rest. The ground is about here. And looking at this pencil, there's like one of those little metal bits. And then up here, this will have to be drawn by hand. It's the pointy bit. That line is much too thin. What's going on? Trying to draw like he might have sharpened it by hand. Now, any good pencil has some straight sides so that it doesn't roll off the table. That is too much of a line. That is also too much of a line. Maybe we just do one. No, one is not enough. Gonna have to go in and erase some parts. That's probably it. And now I'm just erasing it in little bits here and there so that it's not everywhere. What does that look like? This one, and we try and offset things a little bit. Yeah, that's cool. Let's just go a little bit thicker on this line. Cute, look, it's Alastair assessing the tomatoes. Just a little tweak and there he is. Save the file. Oh, thank you for stopping by, Miss Mostello. Is it Mostello or is it no? Drawing with Wolves have to go. Oh, it's Drawing with Wolves. Wait. Does everyone have to go? 2 people have said they have to go. Well, thank you for stopping by. And if you want to watch any that you may have missed, it will be on the live tab on my YouTube page. The recording will be there. So thank you, though. Have a great rest of your day. What is next? What is next? I think, well, obviously, first of all, we've got to turn off this little sketch layer here. Ruining the vibe. Oh, we've got to mask out this line. There we go. Also, there's a line here that I want to mask out. This is so tiny, but just to make sure that thumb is on top there. And why don't we just clean up some of those lines that I erased on the pencil? Left some little gaps. This a little bit as well. I'm wondering if some of these lines are just a little bit thin. So I'm just gonna thicken up little bits of these lines, especially on the underside of shapes. Just thickening up some of these lines. Now I made that clunky. Let's fix that a little bit, smooth that out. Cool. Cool, nice. That is scene 1 of the little picture book montage spread. Next is the bathtub full of carrots. So let me just check that my layers are organized. I've got a group for each tomato. I'm going to make a group for the hedgehog. I'm just going to I don't know. I'll keep those sketch lines. Pencil. Select all of the layers, pop them in a group called Alistair. In my layer panel that you cannot see. Now there's a nice handy little group with everyone in together. And is everyone on the same ground plane? Let me just compare to the bottom of my frame. No, everyone is not on the same ground plane. Let's move tomato 1 down, tomato 2 down a little bit, and then let's see. I don't really want to push Alistair up because this pencil is going quite high on the frame. So let's pop tomato 3 down a bit lower, tomato 2, tomato 1. Now everyone looks like they're on the same ground plane. Cool. Let's do a bathtub. A bathtub of carrots having a bubble bath. And I think that's going to have to be a rubber ducky as well. That seems important to me. I'm looking up reference of claw bathtubs. A lot of them have this this shape where it's slightly higher on one side than the other, so I think I want to do something like that. That's interesting. It's nice to add in little specificities. So we're going to sketch that loosely first. Let's go like, I don't know, it's going to be like this kind of thing. And there's a little edge to the bathtub. And a hedgehog would be, in terms of size, I'm going to copy this drawing from over here, pop you up here. It's pasted back where I got it from, so let's just move that over. How big would a hedgehog be? Maybe like really little, actually. So drawing something really little, we're gonna have to really simplify the details, which is really fun. Has anyone seen Hilda on, I think it's on Netflix, Hilda the cartoon? And when those characters are seen up close, you get to see like the full character with all of the detail that the character normally has. But when those characters are drawn really small and far away, they really simplified them. So like in close-ups, they have like eyes that are sort of like that. If that's a terrible drawing. But basically that sort of detail. But when they're far away, they just become like little dots, and it's really cute. So we're gonna do something like that. And thinking also, how big are carrots in relation to a hedgehog? Probably maybe a little bit smaller than I put them in the sketch. Just selecting that. Okay. I'm gonna make sure the carrots are really visible. So when things break the silhouette, that helps them to be visible. So like this leaf of the carrot is coming over the top of the silhouette of this bathtub. That's going to help it be visible. I'm going to pop a carrot here. Another carrot with the leaves coming out the top. I think the leaves are just a nice little detail. Like whenever I buy carrots, they don't really have the leaves on them, but they're cute for a picture book to have little leaves. So we draw a bunch of carrots. Can you imagine how many carrots are probably in this bathtub if they're sitting at this kind of angle? This is like a full bathtub of carrots. Who has this many carrots? One here maybe. Oh, that's really close to the center line though. Let's not do that. That might be too many. We want to have lots of carrots, but I also want to put in some bubbles. So let's do bubble shape. Maybe we do a simple bubble shape. So it's like one big shape. And then, oh my gosh, yes, there could be carrots floating. Maybe that one doesn't have leaves. That would help it be clearer against these bubble shapes, which are very similar to the leaves. Maybe this one as well. And where are we going to put the rubber ducky? There's got to be a rubber ducky. Maybe on the ground? That would be nice and out of the way. Maybe some like bubbles have fallen onto the ground here. And let's look more closely at the claw feet of a bathtub. I'm looking at reference off to the side on my phone. Okay, so there's like sort of like a thing that attaches to the bathtub. And then there's the little feet. These little feet are so whimsical. Whoever was like, bathtubs should have like paws. I like them. Good idea. This is the far away claws, and I'm just gonna move those bubbles a little bit. Make a little bit of room for the far away feet. I like adding little details and stuff, like because I'm drawing this for a picture book, I want it to be, well, like it's not for a picture book, it's for a picture book portfolio, but as though for a picture book. I want there to be like lots of interesting stuff to look at so that when you're reading it with a child, you can look and find things. Lovely. Now let's figure out what is little Alistair doing. So this is just my my placeholder for scale and also approximately Alistair's shape. So, actually, not to backtrack, but to backtrack, I'm just gonna pop in some of these bubbles before I do Alistair, so then I can turn off this layer of sketch. So the bubbles, I've got some bubbles going off screen, like off page really. And this section here is like my excess trim. So basically, if we're drawing to the edge of the frame, we draw all the way through here, but we don't put anything important in this section because we're allowing that to be cut off. And we're making sure that if it is cut off, that whatever's left in this section is large enough that it's not going to be awkward. Like if I drew that bubble here, that's really close to the edge of the frame, or like here, like that's just a tiny, tiny little sliver of bubble, and it's not compositionally, it's not really quite enough to be like, oh, that's a bubble. It's just like an awkward little sliver of shape. So making sure that this comes into the frame nice and properly. Why have I drawn so many lines to draw a bubble? Let's just get rid of some of those. Just gonna outline. These will probably be like fairly see-through. This one is now overlapping with a bunch of stuff that I've drawn, so I'm going to move that one up. Let's draw some that sort of overlap the bathtub a little bit. And I'll put like a translucent color on them so that you can see through them. Cool. Let's save that and have a drink of water. Everyone hydrate. Drawing with Foxes is back. My goodness. Hello. We're drawing up the bathtub where Alistair is washing the carrots in the bathtub. Because how else do you wash things? So now that we've got, look at this cute little sketch of him, by the way. I like this little, that's Alastair. That was my first pass sketch. Now I'm gonna just get rid of this sketch layer to tidy up the frame a little bit. So select everything except text because it's good to know where the text is. And I'm going to cut that and turn that off. And next we draw Alistair. We're going to do a really rough sketch of Alistair just to figure out what he's doing. I think he has some kind of a bath like scrubbing brush or something. Bath scrubbing brush. Looking up on my phone. So it's gonna be, and also because Alistair is really tiny in this frame, I'm not gonna use nearly as much detail as this drawing up here. Gonna really simplify. Is there a way to interact with one of the carrots? Maybe this carrot. That's not erase. Maybe this carrot could be up higher. And then maybe we'll get rid of this carrot because now it's in the way a little bit. And this is like the leafy bits of the carrot, and then we can get a scrubby brush. And Alistair can be like this. Does he roll up his sleeves? That'd be cute. Let's roll up his little tiny sleeves. And how big is a scrubby brush compared to a hedgehog? Probably pretty big. So let's make that bigger. It's probably about that big, right? Trying to keep the scale consistent. move that over here. Sorry, I just bumped the mic. I don't know if you heard that. My apologies. And Alistair's like leaning forward. Does Alistair have like a cute little shower cap? They don't make tiny shower caps though. Maybe would it be clear if we wrapped a shower cap around his whole body like that? Let me just look up a shower cap. Because his hair is really his spikes that go down his whole back. I think if we make it a cute like pattern, like a little old lady's shower cap, I think that will read. And by read, I mean like that will be clear. It's good to have little things that like little changes for each little moment. That's really cute. It's got a little shower cap on. Cute. Okay, and I'll do it a little bit see-through so that we can see the hedgehog through it. See his little body. Yeah, because he's washing the carrots, so I want to show him washing the carrots. We've got to show him in action. He can't just be standing near the carrots. We've got to show him doing the job. Lovely, that's our new slightly neater sketch. And I'm just gonna turn off this little mini version of Alistair. Shrink that. Okay. Let's name that sketch. And lower the opacity. And now we draw over the top. And we save the file. Drawings Foxes subscribed. Thank you. Thank you. That's so nice of you. I am working on more like actual videos. I know that most of my channel is short form videos, like in the shorts tab. And I've got 2 actual like videos. I'm working on a 3rd one, which is an edit of a previous live stream. Because live streams, like, it's fun to hang out, but it's like a 4-hour, it's like a 4-hour video that I understand a lot of people don't want to necessarily watch a 4-hour video. So I like the idea of editing them down, not all of them, but some of them to like 15-ish minutes, maybe 20 minutes, and then you can watch a super cut of the live stream, and that could be fun. So I've got one that I'm working on that is almost done, and I'm hoping to put it out shortly, but I don't know when. And I do really want to work on more like actual just videos generally. But in the meantime, live streams. Live streams are fun because we're working on stuff together. And yeah, I like doing live streams. Yeah, part of my goal with YouTube is that I would really like to be able to monetize it. And it's so exciting that I've got quite a few followers. So lovely of everyone. Thank you so much. Like subscribers. But I don't have enough long form content to actually monetize because you've got to reach a certain amount of view time. Like you've got like watch hours, essentially. You've got to reach for full monetization. You've got to get 4,000 hours of watch time on long form content. And I don't have enough long form content to have that many watch hours, whereas I do for short form content. But the bar is a lot higher for short form content. So I'm in a pickle. Also, it's just really fun making YouTubes. But yeah, I would really like to be able to monetize my channel because then I could have a little bit of income from my art that's not necessarily tied to being hired or employed or being on a contract. It would be cool to have a little bit of income that was just on a thing that I was doing, that I didn't have to like, I don't know, that I could just do on my own. That would be really nice. So that's the goal. So anyway, if anyone wants to help me with that, just join the live streams and hang out with me. It's so easy. Or watch the replays of the live streams later because they'll be on my live tab. You could even just let them play. But I mean, do watch. It's fun. It's fun to hang out. Let's draw a bathtub. Shall we just take a moment and flip the canvas so that we can check that it's looking okay? I wouldn't mind if this bathtub was just a little bit leaning the other way. So I'm just gonna select without selecting the bubbles. Select a little bit of this. And I'm just gonna warp it back a little bit. Just feel like it's leaning too far. Oh, you watched the short of me drawing the snake. I like snakes too. Oh my gosh, I have news, re that. I recently, you may have heard because if you see my most recent short, I donated some artworks to a it's like an exhibition and an art sale, and it raises money for artists with disabilities so that they can get like materials and supplies and art space and stuff like that. It helps support their art making. So this exhibition, like basically you donate up to 3 A5 artworks, and then there's a big sale and you buy the artworks. And the twist is it's called the Incognito Art Show, and the twist is that you don't know who made the artwork until you buy it, and then you can look on the back and see who actually made it. So it's really cool. You just buy artwork that you like. You don't worry about whether it's a famous name or not. And therefore, because you've got super famous people and you've got brand new artists and you've got all sorts of people making art for this show, and anyone could submit, every artwork is priced the same at $100, which is pretty good price for original artwork. So yeah, I donated 3 artworks and I'm so excited that they've all sold. And now I can tell you that they are paintings of snakes, which is why I'm telling you this. I painted 3 snakes and it was really fun. And I have not shared them online yet, but I would like to. So probably if you want to see them, I'll probably share them on my Instagram. I would like to make a little short about them, but there's so much going on. I don't know when I will be able to get to that, but I might post a little something on my Instagram, maybe on my Instagram story as a little preview. But yeah, I'm so excited because, you know, each artwork sells for $100. So that's $100 for this charity organization. No, $300 for this charity organization, which I'm so excited about. So happy that they all sold. And it was really nice because the way the show runs is they preview the artworks online. And so you've got a little bit of time that you can look through the artworks before anyone's allowed to buy them. And then they do an in-person sale over the weekend. And then they do an online sale. And the online sale is open to any... Oh, sorry, I just bumped the mic. Sorry. The online sale is open to anyone in the world. And in fact, it's still on if you want to go to the Incognito Art Show and see if you can pick up some cool original artwork. And so, yeah, when the online sale opened, one of my paintings sold really quickly. And that was really cool because it meant that someone liked it and was waiting for it. And then a week or so later, the other 2 have sold. So I'm extremely excited. My recent short video about the paintings I submitted last year, which is 3 dogs, 2 of them sold, which was so cool because people reached out to me and they were like, I bought your artwork, and it was just amazing. One of them, I don't really know what happened to though. I forgot to check on it, and then the website, like after a few months, they changed the website for the next year's exhibition, and so I didn't keep up with the German Shepherd, and I don't know what happened to it. But that's okay. It was donated, so hopefully it found a home, but who knows? Let's have a little bit of like an edge on these little bathtub feet. We're doing a little like claws. That'd be cute, little claws on the bathtub. Em's made it to the stream. Hello. Hello. Thank you for making it to the stream. Let me just show you what we're working on. This is a picture book page featuring Alastair the Hedgehog, and Alastair's job is to audit pantries. So he sneaks in the night and he tidies them up, and he tells you stuff you need to throw away, and he's like, you know, this food is, you got to eat this soon because it's going to go bad. So that's his job. And so this is a 2-page spread of him organizing someone's pantry. He's sorting the tomatoes, he's washing the carrots in a bathtub, and he's dressing the salad in little outfits. So that's what we're doing today. Currently I'm drawing up a bathtub and I'm putting paws on it. You thought it was a dog. Yes, I am drawing its feet exactly like I draw dog feet. Yeah, I'm trying to add like cute little details and stuff. Being a picture book. What's happened here? That angle doesn't look right anymore. No, wait, too many lines. So I'm trying to add little details and things that you can notice, and lots of like stuff going on in the drawing so that you can look at it whilst you're reading it with a child. And this is not for an actual picture book, but this is for my picture book portfolio, my illustration picture book portfolio, because I would love to do children's picture books. But as it stands, I don't currently have a lot of literal picture book drawings. I have a lot of drawings that I think would look great in a picture book, but I don't have like a lot of picture book spreads. So I can be like, you know, look, this is a picture book spread as I would arrange it. So that's what this is. Cute. And now I'm not going to copy paste this, but I am going to copy paste it, but just so that I can compare the sizes with the other side. So flip, move it over this way, and then I am going to draw it again, but this is going to be my guide so that they're about the same size. I want them to be not the same, but not too far off. Because it's hand-drawn, and I think it's quite charming when hand-drawn things are not perfect. Okay, that's probably... Maybe I'll just move that to the side so that I can see it without actually it being so complicated. Cute little claws. Similar but different. Did anyone see, it's a meme. It's not a recent meme, but it's, I think, my favorite meme of Sneppy. This Sneppy who's like not Snoopy, but he's Sneppy. He's like legally distinct. I think it's like an artist who just makes objects that look like cheap knockoffs of legal properties, like Snoopy, but he makes like a legally distinct version and packages it all up like it's a real product and puts it on a shelf in a store and takes pictures so that it kind of looks like that someone's selling a fake version of Snoopy, but has just changed it enough to be legally distinct. And this one's name is Sneppy, and I love him. He's my favorite. And on his packaging, it's like, because Snoopy is Charlie Brown's pet beagle, on the packaging it says that he's Chippy Brown's pet bagel. And my favorite part is that it says, I am a different. And so every time I draw something, or in life, if something's a little bit different, if I'm doing something but making it different, I'm like, it is a different. That is always popping into my head, and it did just now. I recommend looking up Sneppy. I love Sneppy. I was sad to find out that Sneppy was just one thing that one person had made. I really want to buy like a Sneppy shirt, but I don't think they exist. Yeah, cool. They look different but similar, which is the goal. They are a different. What if I put a tiny shower cap on one of the carrots? I don't know if it would read as a tiny shower cap. I think it kind of works on the hedgehog because he's like a little guy and like a person would be wearing a little shower cap, but it's tricky on a carrot. I don't know that it would make as much sense. It might dilute the joke. Sorry. Is there we could add anything else to the bathtub though? Like I've got this little rubber duck that I've put it to the side though so that it's out of the way. But are there any other sort of like bath things that we could add in? Like I don't know, something. I feel like we could add something floating in the bubbles maybe, or I don't know. Okay, let's do another layer for the back of these little feet, and that's all that's really needed. Let's just a little bit of shadow, not quite as much shadow as I had, but just a little shadow. And another one over here, just a little shadow because this is the far away leg. Okay, and just checking that. Okay. I'm noticing, because I line stuff up with the bottom of my screen to get a horizontal level, I'm noticing that the right faraway leg is lower than the left faraway leg. So let's just move that up a little bit. Checking again. Close. A little bit higher. Another check. Yeah, that's better. Cool. The ground is level again. Get rid of all of that. And just bring that back a bit lower. Towel on the floor. That's a good idea. Towel on the floor. Towel on the floor. Towel on the floor. Where to put the towel on the floor? It could go under. It could go under. We could move some bubbles around. That's a good idea. I like adding like little things and texture and stuff going on. Now, I do like these bubbles, but I might just move these bubbles. I'll just move them over a little bit. Make some space for a towel. And I'm going to look up reference for towel on ground. Towels are a whole bunch of folded fabric. Towel on ground, looking up. Bunches of folded fabric. Okay, so towels have this like, there's like this line that goes across them on the side. So let's just sketch like, whoop, what layer am I on? Am I on? What's going on? Why is that? Oh, I'm in my sketch folder. Let's pop that up here for now. This is gonna be, let's lower the sketch again. Towel on the ground. Something that reads like a towel. So they've got this like line here. Towels are tricky. Towels are tricky, but it is a good idea, but towels are tricky. It's occurring to me. How do clawfoot baths drain? How do they drain? Where does the water go? I'm so confused now. Where does the water go? Do you have to... Surely you don't have to like fish it out. I'm seeing a lot of loose bathtubs with nothing obvious for draining. Very weird. Does anyone have a clawfoot bath? Can you tell me where does the water go? Very confusing. Back to the towel conundrum. How to do a towel. I want it to be like a little bit scuffed up. Like a little bit. A little bit not perfectly rectangle. Maybe it's like a bath mat. Ah, of course, it's not just a loose towel, it's a bath mat. A loose towel. So when the carrots get out, they have something to step on. I'm gonna warp that a little bit to help with the perspective. It's okay to do that. I believe, so this is getting quite close to the edge of the frame here. The page, I say the frame because I work in animation most of the time, but this is a page. I might just move the whole drawing up a little bit, but I can do that later. And that towel line that towels have, why do they have that? Why do they have that? Towel line. Looking for a reference of the towel line. Maybe we'll just look. Towel. Yeah, they've got this like... That bit. What's that about? And this can be like plush. Plush, plush. We can do little fuzzy bits in the middle. That'll be cute. Yay, towel. Now, I want to move that drawing up. Select everything, shift it up. We've got space. Now let's move that down, and actually we can make that bigger. Lovely. And pop that in the sketch folder. Yeah, the sketch folder. And those bubbles are going to have to move a little bit because I don't like how they're overlapping. This one can go up there. Okay, cool. Let's continue, carry on with the bathtub. I started to say continue, and halfway through, I changed to carry on. Okay, so this is two curves on this bathtub. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw one of them, and then I'm going to duplicate it and just move it up, rather than do two lines perfectly the same or like really close to the same. So that's one line. Let's copy paste, and actually I'm just going to move that down a little bit so that this line is thicker. Then I'm going to paste again and move it up. Perfect. And now zoom in on these two and just fill in some of these little gaps. Blending those layers together, merge selected layers. Now that is one layer. Yep. Erase that little bit. Come back here, and there's a little tag thing here. I'm just going to get rid of that. And this one as well is just looking a little bit too similar to the lower level, because obviously it's exactly the same. I just copy pasted it. I'm just going to break that up a little bit. So much easier than drawing that line twice. And now I will merge those, and now it's all one layer. Bathtub. Let's draw. What should we draw now? Maybe the bubbles, maybe like the big bubbles that are inside the bathtub, and then we can do the carrots over the top. Just sorting out my layers here. Okay, we're gonna do this big bubble silhouette. So I've got the bubbles starting not behind Alistair, but like over here, so that Alistair's acting space is nice and clear, so you can see him nice and clearly, and he's not like fighting with overlapping other stuff. So I want this to be big, simple shapes that suggest bubbles, but are not, it's not just like a bunch of circles. We're trying to simplify. Nope. And I can move any of these floaty bubbles that are in the way. Maybe a little bit of an overlap there. A little bit of bubbles in front and behind. Yeah, nice. Okay, let's just join up some of those little gaps. Nice. Okay, those are the bubbles of the tub. And now to do carrots. I'm going to look up some carrot reference. We want carrots with greenery. Carrots with the leafy bits. Carrots are wiggly, a little bit wiggly. Let's start with this one, right in the middle. And I'm going to draw them all individually so that they're all a little bit different. I mean, one way to speed this up would be to draw maybe 3 carrots and just copy paste, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna draw a bunch of carrots. And they're all a little bit different and a little bit special, which is nice for a picture book. Maybe I'll do the greenery on a separate layer. Let's zoom out as well, make sure that we're not adding too much detail. No, I think that's okay. And we want to make sure that the leaves do not look like bubbles. So rather than doing round lines, I'm doing slightly longer lines. And we can do little extra leaves here and there. That, I don't know. Let's just keep playing around with it. Oh, your device is on such low battery. Thank you for coming back. Go charge your device. That's too much detail now. I'm not into it. I think it's these like stem bits. That's looking better. But I think could do like a little bit more detail. Maybe we just have like, that's the wrong brush. Maybe we just have like a little gap. Like that. That feels like too much. I don't want to like overwhelm with too much detail. How about we'll leave it at that and we'll come back to it. Back to another carrot. I'm going to rotate it so that I can see the carrot pretty much straight. And rotate back so I know where gravity is. So now when these leaves are falling down, I can have them falling down properly. Leaves, carrot leaves, and what happens here? It's the same conundrum. Maybe a line like this. Hmm. I just don't know. I just don't think that's it. I'm not into this one, so I'm gonna do that one again. Maybe I'll lower the bathtub opacity. This one. And little extra leaves here and there. So cute little leaves. Zoom back out. This is just a tricky thing to draw, isn't it? Little carrot leaf tops. Let's flip the view. Maybe that will help. Sometimes that helps. Maybe I'll like extend it on this side and then I'll just work on another one and I'll come back to it and maybe it will look better or maybe I'll have a better idea. Nice. Okay. Another carrot. Why not? Nope. Trying to make like I'm being careful of how this bubble line interacts with the carrot, because if that is a tangent, and we don't like tangents, tangents make things confusing. So I would like that line to cross in the middle of an arc, and that's better. Nice. Carrots in the bathtub. Let's draw another one up here. Such bubbly carrots. Now that is getting a bit close to this other carrot, so I might just move that up. And this one is a bit close, but I'm going to overlap it rather than giving it space. I think those are getting a bit bumpy. Let's aim a little bit smoother. Carrots in the bathtub. Washing the carrots. Okay, leafy bits. They're lying so dramatically. Oh no, says the carrot. Alas. Extra little leaves on the side, I almost forgot. Extra little leafy details. Now let's draw the main carrot. This is the carrot that is being washed. So this one has to look like it's being brushed back. So I'm going to leave some space in there for bristles and draw these little leaves here. Yeah. Lovely. Maybe let's do... We might want a few more carrots maybe, or like some more leafy bits. Might need to wait until it's colored in to get a sense of if this is full enough of carrots yet. I want there to be like carrots, but also I want it to be clear and easy to understand. So if we do too many carrots, it might be too hard to see exactly what's going on. So I'm currently just masking out some of these overlapping lines where the bubbles are. And let's add in some bubbles where the carrots are going into the bubbles. Tidy that up a little bit. Is that it? That's all they're needed? Interesting. I'm gonna do this one again though. Yeah, okay. Interesting. How about, I think we do need just like another carrot somewhere. Another carrot. This is carrot layer. Let's do another carrot like here. And then this is bubble layer. And then let's do some greenery on this one. with the little extra leaves. I like details like that. And let's mask out that bubble. Oh, there's another bubble thing that needs to go here. This one, not happy with the shape of that. Just fix that up. Oh my gosh, you're back again. To and fro. Thank you for coming back. Carrots. Let's mask out some of these carrot lines because they are in the tub, not in front of the tub. Such clean carrots. Cool. Shall we draw Alistair? I'm feeling like I'm getting a little bit hungry. So I don't know how much longer we can stay on the stream, but let's draw Alistair definitely before we go. Look at cute little Alistair. He's assessing those tomatoes. Now we shall draw him little and scrubbing a carrot. Let's make a new layer. I really like his little outfit. And basically we just draw over this, but like slightly more clean. So this is his little nose. This is his little shower cap. Where is he? He's got ears. And he's got spines in here. We're gonna do something like a little bit see-through. This is his little shower cap. And we're probably going to get rid of some of these spines so that we can do little shower cap creases. Maybe this one. Maybe half of his ear. And there's another little shower cap crease. And that will be more clear also when there's color on it. Yeah, cool. So his little arms, but he's rolled up his sleeves. His tie. This is his little tie. And his vest. And his tiny little feet. Now he's going to be holding this scrubby brush. Scrubby brush. How do we hold a scrubby brush? Little claws? Little... Did we decide how many fingers he has? Yeah, he seems to have a whole hand. That's going to be tricky because we're drawing really small now. How do we fit in all these little fingers? They just become so many fingers when they're so little. Does that look okay? Yeah, that looks okay. Just fix this up a little. Maybe we put that one closer. And now the brush. Let's just go another layer, why not? Is he using a toothbrush? Is that cuter? That might be cuter. Okay, that's cool because then we can make the bristles a little bit smaller. Oh, but a toothbrush would be smaller than this. And I like the idea that he's surrounded by big stuff because he's little. No, let's just do this little brushy brush. It doesn't not look like a toothbrush. It's kind of toothbrushy. No, that's good. I like that. Let's see if we can't fit in his other arm somewhere. Just gonna tighten this up. Other arm, like here? Yeah. It's Alistair. He's so cute. I love his little shower cap. Aww. So cute. Okay, well, we're pretty close to done, so maybe I'll just try and finish up these lines, and then I might get off for lunch, because I'm getting hungry, but there's not much left to do. So let's do a little rubber ducky. Looking up reference of a rubber ducky. My rubber ducky looks a little bit different to these rubber duckies, and I kind of like that, but some small little tweaks. Oh, that's cute. Something a bit not a bit spooky. Maybe the beak is too big. That's better. That's too big. And flat along the bottom. And do they have little wings? They do. It's a rubber duck. It's a hedgehog washing carrots in a bathtub. Obviously, classic. Something you've seen before. Let's do this towel. So the towel, I want it to look plush. So I'm going to do the underside, which will be the less fluffy side. And then it's plush little plushy bits on top because it's a bath mat. Except here, where it's more smooth, because bath mats have this little panel bit, towels have this little panel bit, and then it's plump again. And then plush, and then there's like another smooth bit, and then it's plush again. And we draw little plush bits in the middle to suggest that the texture is all over. And actually, let's do a few little plush bits that are overlapping with the smooth bit here and also here. Cozy. I kind of want to just add another little line around the side so that it's got a bit of like an edge, not a seam, but like an edge. A little bit of an edge. Let's just check on how that's going. Yeah, that's helping. Cozy plush bath mat. Now some of these lines are a bit meh. Bit too many pieces in them, so I'm just going to try and smooth them out. That's so cute. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm having a lot of fun. Okay, let's view it back the way it should be so the text is correct. Now it's just bubbles. This bath mat was a really good idea. Thank you for suggesting this. That is bath mat layer. I'm going to now just tweak that a little bit. For perspective reasons, that looks better. Bubbles. Shall we just put all of this in a group, lower the opacity, lower the sketch opacity, and now draw over the top in a new layer so we can see where things are. Circle for bubble. Is that too thick? That line might be too thick. Yeah, that's a bit touch thick. Let's do that. I had an assignment in uni one time. It was like a homework assignment. And you had to, on a piece of paper, freehand draw 20 circles. And it was really hard. Like that would have been, I would have gotten a bad mark for that circle. I accept that one, but I don't think my teacher would have accepted that one. That one's pretty okay. That one's pretty good. That one's pretty good. The idea was that we freehand draw 20 circles, and if you mess up, you have to start again. You can't erase any of the circles. You have to get a new sheet of paper and start again, and it was really tricky. And they had to be different sizes as well. You had to draw some big ones and some small ones and then hand it in, and he would like tick and cross various circles It was a really good like drawing exercise. Mm. It's good to be able to just freehand go around a whole circle. The quality of the line is much nicer than if I was drawing a circle like this. You know, the curve is much nicer when I can just do one whole swoop. But it's hard, and you will notice that I do a lot of drawing and redrawing generally. These circles, for some reason, are going quicker than I would expect. Oh, could I do another live one day about taking requests to draw animals? Yes, that is my go-to live drawing theme concept. So yeah, totally. I'm not sure when, but probably, yeah. If you want to know about my lives, I recommend you keep an eye on my posts because I try to schedule my lives at least a day in advance. And I have been doing it less than a day in advance, which I'm sorry about. The goal is to do at least a day in advance. And when I schedule a live, I'll also make a post. And I'll say like what time it's starting and what the subject is going to be. And I'll drop also a little link to the live stream so that you can, if you go to the link and you click notify me, it should give you a little alert to let you know, I think when we're starting maybe. So yeah, that's generally how I've been doing my live streams. But yeah, definitely I'll be drawing more animals in the future. Not sure when, but definitely. Let's do bubbles on the ground. Yeah, I really like doing animal drawings. Bubbles. Ooh, these bubbles are really cool. And these bubbles. I might work on this again next week, depending. I'd really like to get it done in the next little while. So I'm going to work on this also outside of the stream. But I might finish it up next week. Depending on how much I get through this week. Because I really do want to be working on this in my spare time so that I can get it done. Potentially the week after that we might do animals again. Oop. Bubbles. That's so pretty. Yeah, I think this is probably how much I could do today because I'm getting pretty hungry. It's lunchtime for me. But today we drew on this picture book spread where he's organizing a pantry. He sorted the tomatoes from tomato shape to star shape, and he was like, really thinking very carefully about that. Are they in the correct order? And here, Alastair is wearing a little shower cap, and he's got a big old brush, and he's scrubbing carrots in a bathtub. He's washing the carrots. And there's a bath mat, and there's a cute little rubber duck on the floor. And the carrots are getting a nice little wash. Over here, which we didn't get up to drawing today, he's dressing the salad in little outfits. He's got a capsicum, and I think this is bok choy, and like a cucumber. And he's got a cabbage, and he's just putting little outfits on them. He's dressing the salad. He's helping. He's very helpful. So yeah, I think that's probably what we can do today, because I think I need to have lunch. And stand up and have a stretch. And I recommend everyone stands up and has a little stretch. It's good for you to not sit down for too long. Gosh. But thank you so much for joining me. If you missed any of this stream, or if you want to watch any of my old streams, I've got all of the replays are on the live tab in my YouTube channel. And yes, for future streams, keep an eye on my channel and on my posts. And when I schedule a live, it goes to the top of my my homepage on my YouTube channel. So if you go there, and right at the top will be like upcoming live. So that's another way. But yeah, next week, probably similar time. So if you think about what time is it now? It's 1 o'clock. So give me a second. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. 4 hours ago, that time for you next week, that's when the next live stream will be planned for. If you would like to mark your calendars. Cool. Okay, I'm going to head out and have some lunch. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day. I really appreciate you all. Thank you. Bye.